Hey guys, and welcome to this week on the Fab 4 where we are doing Job Week. We are doing things related to jobs and interviewing for jobs and keeping your job and getting a job if you don't have one. So I just recently got a job, thank God, and Vanessa is currently working. So we thought that we were in a position to maybe give a little bit of advice. So for my video this week, I'm actually going to be doing like a job interview appropriate like makeup tutorial. I'll just talk about a few of the key things that I think are important throughout the tutorial itself. This is Vanessa with her bare face. She's actually about to go to work, and then she's going to hopefully wear this to work as long as it's not tragic. So yeah, with that said, let's get on to the makeup. So the first thing that we're going to start with is foundation, obviously, and I think that it's best for job interview stuff if you take like a lighter foundation and not like put a ton on because you don't want it to look cakey. So we're just using the CoverGirl 3-in-1 Fabulous, all that business stuff. And this is Vanessa's camera, by the way. So I'm just taking like a teeny tiny bit with a Real Techniques Expert brush, and I'm going to start in the center of her face and just kind of work outward. I think it's important to not, like I said, look super cakey because it's one of those things, especially if you're interviewing for a job, you don't want them to see your makeup before they see you because it's about you. So, and I know that for certain jobs it may be different, like if you're applying to like somewhere like Sephora, obviously, it's a little bit different than if you were applying to like, I don't know, like a bank. Your like makeup wouldn't be exactly the same, so I'm just trying to make like a general all-purpose thing where you can look a little bit trendy but you won't look unprofessional. Next, I'm just going to go in with a tiny bit of powder. If you're oily, you might want to like do your whole face, but Vanessa has drier skin, so I'm just going to go through the T-zone area. Sorry if you can hear the squeaking in the background, there are dogs. And we're just using the Rimmel Stay Matte powder, and as you can see, Vanessa's had like a little bit of an accident, so it's looking a little sad. But I'm just going to take this on a fluffy brush and go right through the center of her face. So if you feel like doing concealer underneath the eyes, then you can go ahead and do that. Vanessa's just going to go au naturel today. Her dark circles aren't that bad anyway. So I'm going to go in with a cream blush now. This is Revlon Photo Ready in Pinched, and it's like this corally color. And I think that using like cream blush is kind of a nice thing to do now. I'm just going in with my finger. It's kind of a nice thing because it's harder to apply too much of cream blush, and it also looks a little bit more natural. And like I said, you don't want to look like super cake-tastic when people are talking to you, because once again you want them to focus on what you're saying and your words and why you're qualified to be hired, and not, wow, that girl's wearing a lot of blush. So I'm just gonna focus it on the apple of the cheek and then kind of push it back into where you would normally highlight a little bit, because this does have a little bit of a sheen to it because it is a cream blush, but as you can see it looks very natural. Probably isn't even showing up on camera, but that's the point. You want it to look like it's coming from within. Stop. And just on top of the cream blush, I'm going to set it with something with a powder that's similar color. So this is very metallic. It's Coralista by Benefit. Please open. And that's what it looks like. So it looks pretty much the same as the cream blush that you went over with. You don't want to put too much of this on, but this is just to help make sure that it lasts the entire day, because you don't want to go in and like be worrying about your makeup lasting through your interview and, oh god, am I shiny, am I sweating, is my blush halfway down my face? You kind of want to have everything just sort of set and ready to go so you can focus on what you're being asked and what you need to do and all those things. So I already went ahead and applied some eyeshadow primer. This was, it said NYX eyeshadow primer at one point, but that's what this is, and it's already just applied. And then you kind of want to stick, I think, to more neutrally tones. I don't want to make this seem like it's a natural makeup look, but you don't want to, once again, you don't want to be super overwhelming. So I'm actually just going to go in with this peach color right here, and I'm going to put that all over on both of her lids. And just pat, pat, pat. Make sure you don't get any crazy fallout on your cheeks, because you don't want, like, brown peach colored cheeks when you're going in to talk to them, because once again they'll be like, why is that girl's cheek peach, as opposed to, oh, she seems super qualified, and we know you guys are qualified. So that peachy shade is all over the lid, and now I'm going in with the Naked Basics palette, ooh, upside down right there, and I'm gonna go in with this color right here called Faint, and it's a darker brown, and I'm just going to put that right through the crease. Don't bring it up too high towards your eyebrow. You want to kind of keep it just into your crease and slightly above, because you don't want it to come too far up, and it'll start looking a little night clubby, and that's obviously not where we're going. We're trying to be professional. So just get a little bit on your brush and then kind of sit it in your crease, and like Vanessa's doing, kind of open your eyes sort of halfway and lift your eyebrow, and then you can kind of get an idea of where it's going to be when you open your eyes, not just when you close them. And just sit it right in here and then just blend, 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 blend. So as you can see, this side's a smidge bit higher than this side, so we're just going to fix that and go in with the blender color. I think I'm going to use a combination of these two right here. And you kind of want to stick with more matte shadows in general anyway, because you don't want it to be super shimmery, because I feel like that can be a little distracting. So just go ahead and blend away any mistakes that you may or may not have made. I mean, of course you didn't make them because you're perfect, but if you're human, then you can just sort of use the lighter eyeshadows to kind of correct any mistakes that you made with your shape, as opposed to taking all your eye makeup off, because then you will be late for work. So once you have your eyes looking somewhat even, I'm just going with some eyeliner. This is just Scandalized waterproof eyeliner by Rimmel. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And this is not the time necessarily, I think, to do like your big flick or anything crazy like that. What I think you should do, or what would look best, is to kind of take your eyeliner and just sort of like rub it into the lash line, because you don't want it to necessarily be a visible line. You're just trying to thicken up your lashes a little bit, because I think that helps you look a little bit more like awake and alert, as opposed to being tired or nervous or anything along those lines. So just kind of like really try to get into the root of your lashes and just like wiggle it back and forth and like create sort of a messy line, but nothing too super perfect. And then just blend it out with a little chubby brush like this one, and then you can just go in and then just blend it so it's like a nice little haze at the base of your lashes, and it doesn't really register as like eyeliner. Okay, so I omitted any liner on the inner waterline or underneath, because I think that's a little bit like too heavy. So because we know you just want to keep it kind of nice and light. So we're going in with the Maybelline Illegal Lengths mascara. I think it's a little okay to go a little crazy with the mascara. Vanessa has really long eyelashes, so if you're like her, you may want to be a little careful, because you don't want it to get like too spider lashy. But I think just going in with 1 or 2 coats of good mascara and really like giving your lashes a good brush through is a great idea, because it does add to the whole like wide awake kind of attentive look, as opposed to you being tired. And then just to finish off the eyes, I'm going to go in with this shade right here, called Foxy, just to highlight the inner corners. This is a matte shade. I don't really advise you using a white shade on the inner corner, because I feel like that can look a little jarring, especially if it's matte. And I don't think that super shimmery corners on the inner part of the eye, especially like during a more professional kind of setting, is not the most becoming of a working lady. So just go in with something that's a little bit lighter than your skin tone, that's like yellow toned or pink toned, depending on what your undertones are. And if you're darker, you could go with like a golden or like an orange or something, but just something a little light to kind of pick up the inner corners a tiny bit. But nothing too dramatic. It'll just, like, in person, it'll just help you look a little bit more, like, alive. And just as the final step, I'm going to go in with some clear mascara. This has seen better days, but I'm just going to brush through the brows a little bit to kind of keep them in place. I also think this is probably not the best time to pull out your, like, big statement brow where it's very, like, thick and full and whatnot, because that can be a little harsh, and it can come off a little, like, I don't know, overbearing. And I feel like that's one of the signs that, like, oh god, she's wearing makeup, is when you have crazy eyebrows. So just like brush a little bit of this through and then let it set so your brows don't do anything crazy. And for the final step, I'm just going to go in with this Revlon Kissable Balm Stain, and this is in the color something? Rendezvous. And it's like this kind of color. It's similar to the blush and stuff she was wearing. We're not going to put this full on. I'm just going to kind of go in here and just sort of dab it and pat, and then just sort of like create even like less of a stain than it already is. I don't think that like a super like bold red lip or something. I mean, if you're applying at Sephora, they might love that, but I feel like just for your normal, run-of-the-mill, working at an office or something like that, it's okay to look put together, and I feel like it's acceptable to look like you're wearing makeup in the workplace, because it kind of shows that you put forth some effort, but it's not really the time, I think, to like pull out all your creativity. So just put like a really thin layer of whatever your favorite lipstick or lip stain or whatever it might be, and then just kind of dab it on and pat it in. And you can take this with you to work and reapply throughout the day on your lunch break or whatever, but just don't put anything too full on your mouth during business hours.
Get it.
And that is the finished look. It's super simple. It's nothing too crazy, but I feel like it's definitely something that you want to take time to do. If you kind of just run out the door and you look a little like I just woke up, I feel like, you know, people might look at you at your job or your interview or whatever and kind of get like maybe an impression that you're not the most put together person. So you may be focusing on a lot of things the day of your interview or the day before, but really take some time in the morning to kind of put a little bit of something together so you look nice and presentable and you look awake and ready to work. So yeah, that's going to be it for me this week, you guys. Keep an eye out for everyone else's videos for the rest of the week. I'm sure they'll be giving you lots of helpful hints and tips and tricks and whatnot to help you get employed if you are looking for employment and help you keep your job if you are currently employed.
Oh, by the way, I'm not filming this week. I'm actually going to Las Vegas for a friend's birthday.
Woo!
So I will see you guys next week.
And yeah, we will both see you next week. So I hope you guys have a great week. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.